What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Greetings wherever you are. I'm doing this piece because it keeps coming up in my feed, and I take that as a sign. I saw it whenever, I don't know, I saw it over the last several days, quite frankly, and I ignored it because over the years, at different times, I've heard Dr. Umar Johnson speak in not so cozy terms about Islam. He has said that he grew up Muslim or something like that. It's really been my only objection to him over the years, and not really an objection. I don't really. It's not a strike against him. Like I don't really care. You know, um, the only place where it gives me concern is that because he does have such a large audience of people, there's so many eyes on him. Um, it's so detrimental because Islam is literally the saving grace for African people in this nation. I've preached that till I'm dead. I've told you Christianity just sucks the life out of you, sucks all the fight, sucks all the fury, sucks all of the character out of you, and you're not having the proper reactions to oppression. I told you that even after the Dylan Roof bastard shot up the church in South Carolina, uh, and the first images that I saw when I went feverishly looking to find out what had happened, the first images I saw was big, black, strong men in a goddamn prayer circle. It enraged me because where was the pickup truck? You feel me? Dante, you go get the pickup truck. I'll get my guns, you get yours, we get ready to go and answer this aggression. Not a damn prayer circle. Christianity has no standards, it has no boundaries, it has no conviction. Anything goes. In my own lifetime, I've watched how, well, first, I've watched how the black church used to be a place of strategy and political power and family support and um, that's where they strategized marches and sit-ins and things like that, bus boycotts and all of it, you know. But I've watched it go from that to not that, you know. In my own lifetime, I've seen how I was watching something earlier today. And in the background, there was this brother getting out of his SUV in some pink shorts. He looked like a straight dude. Some pink shorts, a pink hat, and some flowery shirt that had mostly pink in it. And I just thought, I remember when there's no way, no brother of any age would be seen in public wearing anything pink. And I just thought how this brother doesn't understand how he has been infected. If you go up and talk to him and say, hey man, why are you wearing pink? He has no idea why he's wearing it. He thinks it is from him, that it's of his own inkling, his own idea, his own inspiration. This is what he wanted to do. And it's not. It's not. He has been told to do this now. Most brothers, and especially a lot of these young teenagers, they are so feminine looking. It's just, I can't even, I mean, it, oh my God. I mean, they're wearing feminine hairstyles, you know, um, no hair on their faces. The jewelry that they wear is feminine. Um, the clothing is just all feminine, man. It's all feminine. And I have been on earth long enough to remember when that shit would never have flown. You wouldn't have got out of your house. You wouldn't have gotten out of your house. And if you did, you would have been the laughing stock of all of black humanity, and you would never live it down. So, this is how vigilant we were then, you know. But black families are not keeping up black tradition and standards. Not keeping up tradition and standards at all. Everybody's just having kids now way too damn young. So you're not even an adult. You don't know anything. You don't have anything. And you definitely don't have any principles and moral convictions. So now you're having children and just anything goes. Anything goes. I see these young brothers wearing pearls. What man needs to be wearing pearls? I ask you this now. Pearls, bitch. Pearls. For what? But this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. And then when I started seeing the blonde highlights on brothers, there's no reason for any black male to have highlights in his hair. Period. And so they're getting out the door of their house with this shit now because there's no moral standards. And then we're not checking them in the society when we see them. You see? We're not jumping on it and making them feel so bad they want to crawl under the earth. We're not even doing it. We just let them go now. No, I don't. But our people do. I mean, we just transgressing bounds as a people, man. Just transgressing bounds. And I just thought, digressing back to this brother I saw in the pink shorts and the pink hat and all the pink flowery bullshit, I just thought, this has been made normal to you now. And it's only a rock throw and a 5-minute walk till you'll be bending over for another man and thinking that that's okay. It'll be normal to you. We've already gotten the language broken down. It used to be, man, get that bag of shit away from me. You feel me? And we had a very visceral reaction. Now, every nigga's, I don't have no problem with gay people. I don't have no problem with gay people. You see? Just selling your ass down the river. So the language has changed. And so soon you'll be accepting the act. I always tell you, how you think and speak is how you relate and react. Language is always first. You see, you've already given over and looking like women walking down anywhere that I see, grocery store, walking down the street, anywhere I see black brothers now. Everybody looks like a fucking woman. So they've already got you there. You've already changed your language on this alphabet bullshit. So it's only a matter of time. And I would offer that it's also a problem for our women, because your ass is not being vigilant. You're allowing the shit. You're allowing it because you are where the buck stops. And then you surprise when you find out your man is on the down low. Well, he came up to you looking like a goddamn fairy anyway. You see? So we need women to start checking brothers on any and all things feminine. If he's wearing long nails, you need to joan on that shit like till the end of the earth. Make him feel like absolute shit. Tear down his manhood completely so that he gets rid of that. When he comes with those fake locks that look like a baby doll's hair or some bullshit that everybody's wearing now, sisters, you need to check that shit. When he comes to you wearing colors that only should be appropriated for women and girls, you should be shutting it down. So you got a fairy walking next to you, and then you're just shocked and appalled and can't believe and go on when you find out that he's on the down low. When everything he's been doing is totally a woman. All of it. They need to be made to feel very bad. Do you understand? If they are gay, then that's something else. That's how they present. In fact, that's how we used to know that's who they were. You see some nigga with highlights in his hair, you go, that's a faggot right there. You feel me? That's what we were saying in the days of yore. And that's how we identified, oh, that's the gay one there. Now, everybody looks gay. Everybody. So you can't tell who's who. And my anecdote for that when I'm in public is I'll deliberately strike up a conversation with a brother. And I go, I mean, I know you're gay and everything, but I'm just saying I'm not offending, I'm not talking about that. And they go, oh no, man, I'm not gay. I'm like, oh, because you wearing such and such. It's a very slick way to correct and embarrass all at the same time without them getting angry. You see? And you have a generation coming on now who this is normal for them since birth. So they don't have any perspective at all. So they look like a damn Christmas tree and they have no idea that they look like a damn Christmas tree. No idea. Because if they've got a father or male figures in their life, they all look like women. So the young one just thinks that's normal. That's normal for them from birth. It's normal for them from birth, from childhood. You see? We got to correct this, everybody. And so the other point I want to make to lead us into this is this all goes back to Christianity. Because whereas the Christian will say, you supposed to love everybody, I don't hate nobody. You see? So you have all the Christmas trees walking around and all of the weak simps that will not protect our community and our children and our women and our girls. Everybody's weak. I showed you back when I was doing a lot of the police stories back during the Trayvon Martin era, if you will, and everybody we can name from then and on and before and all of that stuff. One of the things I pointed out was every time we saw our people marching, everybody's in a fucking fashion show. Niggas out there not looking like warriors. They out there with their fresh Jordans on and, looking crisp and shit. Like they're clearly not there to defend and protect. It's a fashion show, and they got their women and their girls with them. You said the baby stroller and all of it. It should be men only, and you should look like you ready for battle, not a fucking fashion show. And don't get me started with the sagging. Do you understand? When I arrived in Africa last year, excuse me, and inshallah, I'll be going back in November. Oh my God, what is going on with my intestinal? I can't burp, y'all. You know, you feel like you need to burp, but you won't burp. Anyway, and I was moving around in Senegal almost every single day. I saw many thousands of people when I was in Senegal, and I never saw another brother's underwear or his ass. Didn't have to look at it. I get to the Gambia. I'm there for a month. And the whole time I'm there, I never had to see nobody's ass, nobody's draws. In fact, when I was riding with my brother Malik in Senegal one day, we were going somewhere, and I just randomly said, one thing I can say, brother, is at least the whole time I've been here, I've not had to look at nobody's ass. Malik died laughing. If you go to my channel, Jedi Africa, and go to my videos where I'm in Senegal, you'll see a clip of that. And he understood the reference because he's aware of American of black culture, of black culture in America, how we do stuff, and the images he's seen. He laughed at that for probably 5 minutes straight, man. He even said to me, "Oh, brother, you made my day. You don't even know." And he just could not stop laughing. But he understood the reference just like that. You see? And it was the truth. But that's because you don't have a way of life, everybody. It's just do whatever you want. You have no relationship to the divine, because when you have a relationship to the divine, you're interested in what his commandment is to you, what his instruction is to you, and what he expects from you in this lifetime. So don't tell me you have a relationship with the creator, because when you do, you act like it. Do you understand? It governs your life. So you don't have it. You are being served up some artificial, ghostly, non-existent uh, uh, connection to the divine, and understanding of who the divine is, with this fake thing called Christianity, because it doesn't require anything of you. That's its whole main foundation, is that Christ died for you, and so you don't got shit to do. You see? You don't got nothing to do. So you are the problem. How many times have I told you? Everybody you see stepping to a mic, and anybody you see representing black people in public in any regard, they're all fucking Christian or some version of it. Every single one of them. You don't have any Muslims leading you. And although the Nation of Islam is not Muslims, they are not Muslims. But even though they're not Muslims, people think they are. And so, therefore, you have Louis Farrakhan, who is the most effective leader of black people that we have breathing and living. Certainly in this country, there's no Christian of any stripe, whether they be a leader or somebody that's famous or in Congress, or doesn't matter. None of them could have, just by word of mouth and a flyer, got 2 million black men to show up at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March. And what? All the Christian folks didn't want to have shit to do with him. You see? They didn't want to have nothing to do with Farrakhan. Because what? The Christian Negro is the scared to death Negro. You got no fight. Look at the difference between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X even. One was weak, turn the cheek and shit. And the other one was saying, by any means goddamn it necessary. Any means. But Farrakhan got 2 million brothers to the National Mall on word of mouth and a flyer, bitch. And then last minute, you had some of these fake ass, scared to death ass Christian Negroes. Suddenly they wanted to be on the program because they had an epiphany and realized that, wait a minute, the Nation of Islam don't even have 2 million people. Most of them people out there on that damn mall are not Muslims. Because Farrakhan reaches everybody in our culture. Everybody. Everybody. Because he is the fearless leader. He is the fearless leader. He is scandalized and oppressed away from public view. But Al Sharpton gets a fucking show on MSNBC. Huh? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Do you understand? So there is no constitution that governs your character and your behavior and your life. Meanwhile, Muslims say, not right here. You understand? We won't be supporting the LBGT movement, and we're vocal about it. We're not here for transgenders, and we're vocal about it. We mean them no harm, but you're not coming here with it. You see? Because we have a way of life ordained by the one who created us that governs our life from day to night and from birth till death. This is what it means to submit to the one who created you. It's not an optional. Christianity teaches you God is just your friend. He loves you so much that he incarnated himself in a man and came here to die for your bitch ass that he could just strike dead by saying be and be over it. They're telling you he's a jealous God and all this stuff, giving him all these human attributes. You don't know the one that created you. You don't know him. You have no idea. No idea. So this is what makes it dangerous when someone like Dr. Umar Johnson tries to represent a position that is opposing Islam to African people. Because if our people were majority Muslim in this bitch, we wouldn't have been marching and chanting with Alton Sterling and Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown, and let's just keep on going down the list till we're all gray. We would have been answered that shit a long time ago, and it would have been over. But because it's mostly Christians, you are the ones that step to the mic with all this forgiveness bullshit. You're the one. Your kids are the ones that I got to drive behind down the street and weed is blowing all out the car and shit. They're the ones that when they get pulled over, the police can say they smell marijuana in the car. It's your Christian. It's you Christians. Not just the children, but all of you. Of any age. You see? You are the ones having babies out of wedlock. You are the ones who have produced this advent of the baby mama, baby father. That comes from your Christian ass. Because we're not having sex out of wedlock. We're not doing that. And having these children that nobody knows who's going to take care of it. You are sicker than us because you're eating everything that is forbidden for you by the one who created you. So you got more health problems than we have. On and on and on and on I could go. Christianity doesn't promote unity. Islam promotes unity and community. On and on I could go. So it makes it very dangerous when he tries to represent Islam when he may have just had a cursory uh, experience with it and doesn't really know the way of life known as Islam. And a hightail sign is one of the things he says in this piece. Let's get into it. I'll come back to my tirade because my tirade is part of all of this. But let's get into it now.
Do you believe that is that specifically with Christianity, or do you think that of
All
other
of them are
religions as well?
parasitic.
Got
Now,
you.
Christianity is the most capitalist minded of the religions.
Okay.
Islam is not as capitalist minded, but guess what? It is still anti-revolutionary. It is still anti-African culture in many regards. I was raised Muslim. Philadelphia has
See, he says, I was raised Muslim. Well, no, you weren't. Because what you must understand, everybody, and we don't have a 100% ratio, but people don't just leave Islam. You feel me? Only way you leave Islam is if you really didn't understand it. You just didn't understand it. Or you weren't really into it to begin with. And a lot of times people grow up in Islam and they leave it because, but that could be with anybody doing anything. If you grow up in something, you didn't choose it for yourself, so you kind of, you may drift away. That's even my own story. I grew up Muslim, but when I left my father's house, um, I didn't go buck wild, but I wanted to kind of educate myself about the world because I was very sheltered growing up too, in addition to being Muslim. And I wanted to experience things and see the world and be my own boss for the first time. But I never got buck wild, and I wasn't um, strictly practicing my faith, so I wouldn't represent myself as Muslim because I was always very protective of it. I didn't want people to see me and think, "Oh, that's Muslims." You see, so I was very guarded in that regard. But I always knew Islam was the truth, but I also went and educated myself on other faiths and studied them, because I always felt like that I had no conflict with Islam and I knew it was the truth, but I just thought, what if it's not? I wanted a relationship with my creator. I wanted to feel like I'm on the right path, that I'm doing what will make me eligible for paradise after this life. But is it the truth? So I had to go and study, and all roads led back to Islam. So I have no problem with people leaving it if they grew up Muslim, you know. But generally they come back, and some of them don't. They get out there in that chapter, and they get seduced by the world, and that's the end of it. So that happens, and that may be what happened to him. You know, he just wanted to go in a different direction because Islam requires discipline. You understand? Excuse me, y'all. I was eating caramel pecan caramel clusters, or chocolate caramel clusters, pecan something. Anyways, this is my teeth. I can't go on. Damn it. Um. So when he says that it's anti-revolutionary, no, it's not. Islam is the one that says don't start none, won't be none. But damn it, if you are struck on, then it's an eye for a goddamn eye. So it's not anti-revolutionary. That's just not a statement of truth. What did he say? Let's go back.
It is still anti-revolutionary.
Not true.
It is still anti-African culture and
Um, it's not anti-African culture. If you're in a mosque that is not predominantly black, um, or something like that, then there won't be a focus on our issues. You know, that's just what it is. You know, but the same can be true if you go to a white church. You only go to a white church. They ain't really not gonna be talking about our issues. Six people could have got shot by the police the day before, and here you are in church on Sunday, and they're not even mentioning it. You feel me? So that is subjective. That part. Let's go on.
in many regards. I was raised Muslim. Philadelphia has the largest percentage of African American Sunni Orthodox Muslims in the United States.
That is the truth. Now, but the largest group of Muslims in the country is in Michigan. He's making the distinction that most black people who are not, just most non-Arab people, particularly black people who identify and are Muslim, would be the largest population would be found in Philadelphia. Go on.
Dearborn has the most Muslims overall, but they Arab.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with American Africans, non-Nation of Islam, Orthodox Muslim, Philadelphia has more than any city in America. I was raised in it. I was raised in the very masjid that I believe the Nation of Islam used to own. You understand? Before W. Warithuddin Muhammad took over his father's organization, shut that.
Now, he's citing Elijah Muhammad's son, Warithuddin Muhammad, who broke off from the Nation of Islam because, as I say, they are not Muslim. And he broke off to teach Orthodox Islam. So was he part of that, or was he part of something else? And being that he was in Philadelphia and he's from Philadelphia, so I would presume that his Muslim experience would have been black people. So I'm not understanding how it'd be anti-black, whatever he said a minute ago, and anti-revolutionary. I'm not understanding that correlation there. Not understanding. Let's go on.
Muslim,
Yeah.
Philadelphia has more than any city in America. I was raised in it.
Yeah.
I was raised in the very masjid that I believe the Nation of Islam used to own. You understand? Before W. Warithuddin Muhammad took over his father's organization, shut that down, and came with the American Muslim movement. I was raised in one of those mosques. You understand?
Now, maybe those could have been because a lot of those people would probably be converts to Islam and things like that. So maybe they still have that scared to death Negro gene in them. You know that Islam didn't take out of them or whatever. Yeah, I don't really know. I'd have to know what the makeup of his Islamic community was. I just don't know.
But I had to walk away because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture.
See, I don't know. Again, I don't understand how that would happen in Philadelphia. Now, that will be true, what he's saying, in other parts of the country. But if you go to a predominantly black mosque, I'm not really understanding how that would be, those things would be in place, you know? Um, yeah.
Saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam.
Okay, this is not true. I'll let him finish the statement and then I will correct.
I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God?
Okay, that's not true, everybody. The fact of the matter is, as I've told you, one of the things that proves the Quran's divinity, that is the spoken word of Allah, is that the people of the time when the Quran began to be revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the things that immediately proved its divinity to the people is two things. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was illiterate. He could not read or write. And he's coming with these amazing revelations from Allah. But number two, the people spoke Arabic, but this was a higher form of the language that the people had never heard. Never heard it. Because the Quran is written in a higher classical Arabic presentation. Like it is divine speech. And how we have preserved it, why it is important for one to, if you're not going to speak just conversational Arabic, you must learn this Arabic in order to read, recite, and understand the Quran. Why, Jedi? For the love of God, why? Tell us these things. Because the Quran has been preserved by the will of Allah and His promise to mankind in the Quran that He will protect this book. So that's why you've heard me say over the years, you can't even touch the Quran. It doesn't even exist in a book. We call the book the Kitab, which is the Arabic word for book. Kitab. Kitab. I'll just say it without the accent. Kitab. You see? But it's pronounced Kitab. But it's not, the book is not the Quran. It doesn't even become Quran until it is recited, because the very word Quran means that which is recited. You see? So Allah is telling you immediately, just in its name, what you need to do with it. It does not become Quran until it is recited. And how we've preserved it, word for word, from the day it began to be revealed. And it was revealed over the course of 23 years to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why, when I recite Quran in 2024, is exactly the words that came out of the mouth of the Prophet, is because you have to know the divine language. And that does not exist in English. It's the divine language. So that is what you must recite. Not only that, as Dr. King would say, not only that, but also there are words that can't be translated to English. There is no English word for it, or any other word, quite frankly. There's, in so much of the Quran, when you're reciting it and reading it, it literally goes to your soul, everybody. It's hard to explain it. The divinity, the physical book itself is divinity. But there's some things you can't even explain it. When you read it and recite it a lot, you know it. You know it. You have it. You have it, but it's hard to, and in some cases impossible to then share that. It's too much. And then additionally, as I said, for many things you don't have a English or any other language equivalent for that. And so then you just have to, as best you can, explain the concept of it. You know, like kul. Kul is a word, and kul is hard to explain because it's a strong. Again, it takes you 5 minutes to explain it because it's a command. It's an instruction, but it's very strong. It's 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 I don't know how to say it, but that's the closest I can get, you know. But that's just one example. Like for instance, in one of the surahs of the Quran, it's known as Ikhlas, and it begins Kul hu Allahu ahad. This was an answer sent down from Allah to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he asked Allah, "Who do I say you are?" Because every prophet always asks Allah that. Remember Moses? Who do I tell the people you are? Tell them I am that I am. And if they got a problem, they can see me. Okay, he didn't say that last part. Astaghfirullah. But and then the answer that came down was Qul hu Allahu ahad. Allahu samid lam yulid wa lam yulad wa lam yakuluhu kufuwan ahad. Which means say he is Allah, the one and only. Qul hu Allahu ahad. Say he is Allah. But that's again, that kul is very strong. But it's kul hu Allahu ahad. So it's say he is Allah, the one and only, the self-subsisting, the eternal, the only absolute. He begets not, lam yulid, nor is he begotten, wa lam yulad. And there is none like unto him, he is one. Wa lam yakuluhu kufuwan ahad. But this kul is like you will say it, give it, tell it, do it. This is what you say, but it's just that one word. You see what I'm saying? So you have to explain the concept of the word instead of its definition because the definition is too hard to give. You have to know the language of the Quran. So no, you don't have to learn conversational Arabic to be a Muslim. But it is important that you recite the Quran in the language of its revelation because this is how we have the original revelation for nearly 1500 years. This is why, and every Muslim has it in their heart. We know it. So it's if it's 50 people or 50,000 people, and you have the Imam standing leading a huge crowd of Muslims, and he starts to recite any portion of the Quran, if he gets even one word wrong, you got 50,000 people that are going to say that word out loud for him. There was one year, um, uh, it was Ramadan, And during Ramadan, we go through the entire Quran. Like you read a 30th of the Quran every day, so that by the end of the holy month, you have read the entire book. That's why I always tell you Muslims, we know our book. And like even if you're not getting your daily Quran in, you definitely gonna get it in at Ramadan. Okay, so you read your 30th every day. Now, when you go to the mosque in the evening to break the fast and to pray, when we have the Taraweeh prayers, the Imam who's leading is going to now recite that 30th that you read that day. So, this particular year I'm trying to share with you, our Imam was ill. He didn't show up or something happened. I think he had maybe he had car trouble or something. And he wasn't there to lead the prayers for this 30th of the Quran. So, what we have one brother that stepped up and he started it. And he got as far as he could get, and then another brother got stood up and or stepped in and recited the next portion of it, and then the next brother stepped up and recited what he knew. I mean, it was just so beautiful, man. But the point is that we had it. You could burn every single kitab known as Quran on the earth today, right now, burn every single one across the earth in every corner, and we'll have it back within an hour. Within the hour, we'll have it back. We'll have it exactly word for word from the day it began to be revealed nearly 1,500 years ago. This is why it's important to know the divine language. One of the struggles that the Christian has is they have no divine revelation. Because, first of all, Christ didn't bring a book. Didn't bring a book. Moses got a book. You see? That's really where Christians should be stopping at. But then they give you this fantasy Wizard of Oz story and go, wait, well, Paul saw him in a vision. So this is a whole New Testament now that now disrespects the one that came before it. When Christ himself says, think not that I come to change even a striking of a letter on the law. I came to confirm that which was before me. So you can't have a New Testament. Otherwise, you just made Christ into a liar. Either he's a liar or that New Testament never happened. Do you understand? So he didn't bring a book, and nothing was written down about any of his teachings until at least some 75 years after he'd already left the earth. Do you understand? That's a conservative number, and that comes from Christians, not from me. So you don't have it, and every Bible reads differently. My Bible says such and such. You got books that aren't there, and it's a whole thing, man. You'll never walk up to a Christian and say, recite Matthew for me. Recite the book of Matthew for me. They can't do it. From beginning to end, they can't do it. You don't have anybody in Christianity that can recite the Bible. You don't have it. Walk up to a Muslim and say, recite Surah 56 of the Quran. You see? Or whatever number you want to pick. Recite this. And I could get 1 billion Muslims on a conference call. And it doesn't matter what language they speak. This is the other thing that we have that Christians don't have, and why the language of it is so important, because it transcends all ethnic and linguistic barriers and geographic barriers. So I could have people on the phone that speak Mandarin. I could have people on the phone that speak Farsi, people on the phone that speak Swahili, people that speak Yoruba, on and on, just all the languages of the earth. You get me all those people on the phone on a conference call, and I say, let us all now recite Ayatul Kursi. And it's not going to be, well, in my language it's this. Well, we say it like this. Everybody is going to say, Allahu la ilaha Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum la takuzuhu sinatun wa la naum, so on and so forth. It will be the exact same. The guy in Mandarin is going to be saying exactly what I'm saying. The Swahili is going to be saying exactly what I'm saying, and on and on and on. You don't have that. The Quran gives us a universal language. You understand? That brings us all as one. So I could go to China today and walk into a mosque, and whoever the imam is, when he leads the prayer, boom, he's going to be reciting the divine language. I hope you understood that concept. But you don't have that with Christianity. You don't have it for all the reasons I've cited. So this also tells me that uh, he wasn't a learned Muslim. He says he grew up Muslim, but what does that mean? You know, it could have just been in title only, that his parents weren't disciplined, they weren't serious, whatever. But even if they were, he didn't do any study of his own of Islam. When he was no longer living at home or whatever, and so But that's basic. Like, just that he would say that is like he should know what I just explained to you. We'll pick it up and go on.
Black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I gotta learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I gotta eat like the Arab to worship God?
You don't. None of that is true, everybody. None of it is true. None of it. Now, I will say this: the Arabs who come from Arab countries and who happen to be Muslim, they do give off this what he's saying, like, but it's fine for you to stand up to them and say, look, I don't speak Arabic. I don't need to. You understand? The traditional clothing that I wear it for several reasons. Number one, it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. It's also clothing that I keep holy. I try not to put bad energy in those clothes. But remember, we're the first people to wear anything, everybody. The original Arabs are black. You understand? So when I'm wearing my traditional clothing, I'm not dressed like an Arab. I'm dressed like an African. That's what I'm dressed like. You know, that's what I'm dressed like. So, but I do hear that from even the Nation of Islam people. It's like, y'all trying to be Arabs. Well, we're not trying to be Arabs at all, you know? And then the growing of the beard, because, the Nation of Islam, again, they're not Muslims, but you notice that the Nation of Islam, up to and including Farrakhan, no hair on the face at all. None at all. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said it is proper and prescribed for a man to wear his beard. If he's able to grow hair on his face, he should wear it. So there's just a few things that are wrong with his statement. As I'd say, the Arabs, they will challenge you, and but you have to be an individual in those moments. It's okay if any Muslim, Arab or black or whatever, just checks you on, like, if you get up to lead the prayer and you saying it in English, we gonna side eye you. Because as I said, when you read and recite it in English, there's so much stuff that you're not getting. The experience of the Quran, you can't get the experience of it. There's stuff that you read that you literally have to put the book down. It's too much. And you're not going to get that in the English. And some of the stuff you're going to recite is just the concept of a translation, because as I've said to you, there's some things that can't be translated into another language. It just can't be. That it only exists in the divine language. That's it. That's it, man. That's it. So, um, What else did he say? Go on.
Black reality. It was all Islam.
Oh, you don't have to eat like an Arab, everybody. That's ridiculous. I'm over it.
Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the
Explain that. You should be clear on the Arabic. You don't have to speak Arabic. You have to learn the divine language so that you can have a relationship with the Quran, everybody, and the divine revelation. Come on, man.
Arabic? And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the Arab to worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture.
Also, with the dress, the how we dress is also uh so you an identifier, like our women wear the hijab and all of that, and they're covered, and so you can spot our women in public, you know but it's not easy a lot of times to spot our men, you know and so that's another thing that makes you identifiable. You say, oh, he's Muslim, he can find you in a crowd. There's other things, like if I'm somewhere and I think somebody could possibly be Muslim, then I have to watch the brother for a minute. So say I walk into, I don't know, I'm somewhere and where people eat or something. Then I'm watching how he takes his water. Um, what hand is he eating with? I watch his etiquette. There's things that will give me a sign to let me know, he could be. I'm looking for the beard, which, not all Muslim men wear their beard. But there's things that I can observe and go, okay, that's a Muslim right there, you know. So that the clothing that we wear is also helpful for that. But it's also convenient because you have to pray 5 times a day. And, you know, um, if you have this clothing makes it so much easier, you know, than if you're in regular clothes. It's more accommodating for you to be able to make your prayers, to wash for prayer and all that stuff, but you don't have to dress like that. You don't have to. You don't have to. The only thing that's prescribed for men by Allah as far as our dress is we're supposed to be modest. We can't wear tight stuff, and you cannot show, like, from your navel to your knees should be covered. You can go around with your shirt off if you want to, but uh, your belly button to your knees you shouldn't be showing that, and whatever you're wearing should not be tight, or see through or anything like that.
To worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture. And that's why I walked away from it. And
That's why he walked away from it. Which means he didn't understand, because he would have known, I don't have to dress like an Arab. I don't have to speak conversational Arabic. I don't have to eat like an Arab, and all the shit that he just named. So that's a cop out. I'm sure if I met Dr. Johnson and quizzed him on Islamic knowledge, he would not know it, you know? And this is not a slight against him, as I say, because I'm one of his defenders. I ride with this brother to the bitter damn end. I just do. But I must set the record straight on this, because, like I say, he's got a lot of eyes on him and he's very loud and wrong on this. And I just got to correct the record.
now African spirituality is my foundation. But that would have never happened had I never go to Africa.
Whatever that means, but what he would find out, and what he should know, is that a lot of African culture is in line with Islamic culture. You understand what I'm telling you? So many things that Africans do is that they naturally do is literally part of Islam. And by the way, I did a video a while back because remember I was just sick and tired of hearing about African spirituality. So I researched it to find out just exactly what the hell is it. What does that mean? And so I did a whole video about that. I feel like it's on this channel too, everybody. I feel like it's on this channel. And I found it. Um, Here's my video. I did it 6 years ago. It says, it's what is the African belief system? It's what God gave Adam. Uh, this man, excuse me, this man sheds light. But anyways, this was my video about African spirituality because I was just sick and tired of, you hear a lot of people proclaiming that, well, I'm mostly African spirituality. What does that mean? What does that mean? And so I was just sick and tired of it. So I did a video about it. This is the video. Um, I will link it. Um, yeah, I'll link it down below. So what am I linking? I'm linking this. I'm linking the link for the other channel, Jedi Africa. So you can go over there and subscribe to that channel. I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to be linking, y'all. I can't remember. But you see even the intro here that I'm running, it says, for generations, our people have debated and still debate about what our original religion was. In this piece, I tried to help you see that we have been asking the wrong question. Thusly, the answer has continued to elude us until now. I go on. What we seek is not our religion. What we seek to know is what was our original way of life as ordained by the Most High. Please listen carefully with an open heart and an open mind. The Jedi. All right. So you'll want to go and watch that. Um, you'll want to go and watch that. It's about an hour and a half, and yeah, I was just sick and tired of asking and hearing it being asked. So I just thought, let me go find out. So I'll link that for you down below. Let's go on.
This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture. And that's why I walked away from it. And now African spirituality is my foundation. But that would have never happened had I never go to Africa in 2005 and go into that Goree Island slave dungeon. And them ancestors literally grabbed me that day. And I went through a whole spiritual renaissance in my hotel.
My video of me at Goree Island in Senegal is on Jedi Africa, everybody. Again, if you don't follow me on Jedi Africa, get over there and subscribe. That's my other channel, Jedi Africa. There's a picture of me as the channel icon. Also, I want to shout out my new subscribers. And also, if you're hearing me for the first time, then I invite you also to subscribe. And a big shout out to all the new subscribers, you guys. Big shout out. Big shout out. Yeah, and I love it. Whenever I have new subscribers, I love it when you leave me a comment letting me know you're a new subscriber, everybody, because I love to welcome you to the channel and all that stuff. So, if you're inclined to leave a comment, I would love that. But if not, that's fine. But welcome to all the new subscribers. But I was gonna say when I went to Goree Island that he's talking about in Senegal, I can tell you that I felt the ancestors, everybody. I felt them. I felt them, especially when you see me stand in the doorway of the doorway of the door of no return. I was so emotional. I was so emotional, man. And the only thing that fucked me up is that there's white people walking around there. Like, why are y'all here? This is our fucking crime scene. Why are you here? Wallahi, when I go back to Africa, I want to see, maybe I can even see the new president because he's Muslim. And Senegal is a Muslim country, but I want to see somebody to say this should not be allowed, not just here, but in any of the slave castles on the coast of Africa. White people should not be allowed. Why would they want to go there even? They should not be allowed. This should be sacred ground only for African people to honor and remember our ancestors. What do I look like being at fucking Auschwitz? For what? For what? That had nothing to do with me. Why would I be there? I wouldn't. Why is there white ass at our slave dungeons? Why are they there? It just felt wrong to my entire being. Every neuron in my body was saying, what the fuck? I'm over it. But I agree with him. You felt the ancestors. You felt them. You felt them. You felt them.
Me that day, and I went through a whole spiritual renaissance, and my is my foundation. But that would have never happened had I never go to Africa in 2005 and go into that Goree Island slave dungeon, and them ancestors literally grabbed me that day, and I went through a whole spiritual renaissance in my hotel room literally that day.
Yeah.
And that's what brought me to African spirituality. I speak in churches all the time. I have nothing against the church. There are some who do some good things,
Yeah.
but as a system, black religion, I don't care if you're talking Islam, Christianity, Judaism, black religion as a whole, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, even African spirituality to an extent, they have pushed colorblind philosophy on black people to our own detriment. Every problem that the white man has introduced into the black community, the black church has taken that problem, evangelicized it in a way that makes black people think it either ain't that bad or there's nothing they can do about it until Jesus comes.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And love everybody. And love your enemy. Huh? You will not have any Muslims loving our enemy. You just won't have that. Think about, you don't even need, you should be against that from as soon as you hear it. Your inner voice tells you, what kind of a dumbass are you to love your own enemy, to love your enemy? You see? Love your enemy, but y'all hate your own damn people. But love your enemy. And think about that. That had to come from a fork-tongued devil. That whole concept, love your enemy. Do you see them loving their enemy at all? Do you see them loving their enemy? You don't ever see that shit. But they tell you that. You should love your enemy. Nah. Not in this existence. Not in this existence. Not ever. Like, I'm over it. A little bit more of him, because I don't think we need the rest of this.
That's slave time religion. And my issue with black religion is my same issue with black politics. Why we still engaging in the same religious culture we engaged in on the plantation? See, on the plantation,
Which was not Islam. And, you know, I remind you, a large percentage of the slaves brought to these shores were Muslims, everybody. And why the white devil has such a visceral reaction to Islam, especially in this nation today, is because, think about it. Now, hear me closely. Hear me now. Here's all the shit that goes away when Islam is the order of the day. Every fucking ounce of liquor and liquor stores is no more. Huh? No more. No more. Weed is gone, homie. Might be around for medicinal purposes or something like that, but you definitely not gonna be smoking it. That's out. That's out. That's out. Every liquor store and every ounce of liquor goes away. Reflect on that. Every single strip club goes away overnight. You'll not be throwing, what do they call it when you make it rain? Yeah, you won't be making it rain. You won't be doing that. That'll be out. Now this is all revenue for this devil. Billions of dollars annually. These industries go away. So we got the liquor in the liquor stores. We've got all intoxicants are out. All of it is out. Probably many of your pharmaceuticals will be out as well. All your strip clubs are gone. Then no more tax and interest on anything. Period. No more tax, no more interest. That's out. Because that's usury and it's forbidden in Islam. Muslims are not allowed to charge or receive tax or interest on anything. Many American banks are recognizing this, so we have interest-free accounts and things like that. Um, so that's all out. So that there's another many trillions of dollars that are out. Um, so no more tax or interest on anything. Um, no more X-rated and R-rated movies. All porn is no more. Do you understand? No more. Women are now covered. So many billions of dollars in the fashion industry will simply be wiped out because nobody's buying their little tiny bullshit and their threads of material that they're calling an outfit. That will be out. Gone. Out. No more. Do you understand? Because women will be covered. Huh? So unless Versace and Chanel are gonna make some stuff that's Islamic, they're not gonna be in business. That'll be out. Um, the whole incarceration system will be vastly different. Vastly different. You will not be in jail for some petty shit. It's just not gonna happen. You'll never file another income tax form ever again. You understand? I can go on and on and on, but many industries go away, everybody, because when you live in a godless society, these things are permitted. Your murder rate is going to go down to nearly zero, and so is your crime rate. It's going to go to nearly fucking zero. You understand? Because Islam gives you a foundation, gives you a code of character to live by, the standards that your maker expects from you. That's what it is. Gone will be the baby mama, baby father bullshit. Abortion is not going to be an issue anymore. We won't need Roe v. Wade or anybody else. That will be out. On and on and on I could go. So this is one of the reasons they push so hard against Islam and try to villainize it to the American public. You see? This transgender rainbow coalition shit, that will be out. You understand? They can still exist. That's no problem. But gone will be their parades and, parading down the street with nothing on and, drag queens reading books to children and all that shit. That will be out. There'll be no issue of men competing in women's sports. That will be out. I can go on and on and on because Islam fixes everything and they know it. They know it. They need a society of chaos and confusion. Islam settles it. Settles it. Because Christianity doesn't stand for anything at all. Doesn't stand for anything at all. You remember this Andrew Tate dude? How he even came on my radar, even, and many people's radars, because he had some video that went viral years ago. That he was sitting at a table with somebody. He was saying, if I was going to be anything, I would choose Muslim. I would choose Islam because Islam fixes everything. And he started just going down the list and naming shit. He was talking about how when you're in an Islamic country, you could literally leave your wallet and your valuables just somewhere in the middle of the street and nobody will steal it. It just won't happen. you know, and on he went. And that's one of the reasons why they're also been targeting him and his brother recently with these false charges and bullshit, because then he became Muslim and he's so highly visible, and so influential, especially to a certain age demographic. He's dangerous to this white devil. And his father is black and his mother is white. So he's part black, even though he talks weird with all his this and I can't even imitate the guy right now. It'll just make me ill and I won't be able to go on. But yeah, so Dr. Umar is just out of his league here and he's speaking on things that he doesn't know. He's a very educated brother, and it'd be very easy for him to go and educate himself about Islam, and he could even talk to some Muslims, and find out what he doesn't know. But he's just misrepresenting. Like I say, you don't gotta dress like an Arab. You don't have to eat like an Arab. You don't gotta be an Arab. You don't have to learn conversational Arabic. Like I've already explained. I hope I've done a good job of explaining why you need to learn. Um, you need to learn Arabic so you can read the Quran, so you can experience its magic, its mastery, its majesty. It's beyond everybody. The way that then because this is how you learn how the divine speaks. My God, when you understand it, you realize there's no human can write this. It's not even possible. It's not even possible, dude. It's not even possible. That's one of the things that grabs a hold of your heart and your spirit. It just grabs you. You're like, oh my God, this is the word of God. Like, this is my maker speaking. Like, it's not even, subhanallah. It's beyond. I can't even. It's it's. I'm out of words. I don't have words. I don't have it. I don't have it. All right, let's see if he's going to say anything else that I need, because it's not. There's only a couple minutes left on the video, anyways.
All you could do was pray to God because you was in chains. God had to solve your problems. You weren't allowed to do shit.
Yeah.
Now you $2 trillion in America, at least half as much in Canada. You understand? You got enough revenue to do something for yourself now. But we still on hands and knees begging God. Part of the science of prayer, as I teach, you pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do. To pray for what you can do is an insult against the Creator. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too often we're praying for what we.
I love that. Hear that again. I love that. You don't pray for what you can do. And he says that to him, that's an insult. That's an insult to the Creator. I like that. Let's hear that again.
You understand? You got enough revenue to do something for yourself now. But we still on hands and knees begging God. Part of the science of prayer, as I teach, you pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do.
You pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do. Go on.
Pray for what you can do is an insult against the Creator.
To pray for what you can do is an insult to the Creator. Wow. Wow. I really like that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too often we're praying for what we can do. God ain't gonna respond to you. Why would God respond to you when you got the ability to do it yourself? To ask of the Creator to do something for you that you can do yourself is to make a mockery of the Most High.
So would you say that you're looking for kind of just more of an advancement of what that old culture is around a
looking for a
religion, like
reconstruction.
progression? Okay,
It needs to be
reconstruction.
reconstructed.
Reconstruction.
And to your point that you opened up with,
Yeah.
I do believe that 99.9% of all religious leaders are in it for themselves.
Got you.
I look at all the brothers I know who went to jail, came.
Well, that's going to be only in Christianity. We don't have any imams in Islam that are driving fancy cars and, decked out in, expensive clothes and shit. We don't have that, everybody. We just don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it. And most imams are it's volunteer really. They have a real job doing something else somewhere else. Like this is not their job. And in some of the mosques where you have a full-time imam, I just haven't really seen an imam that wasn't independent really. Um, in one mosque that I was a part of for years, we didn't have a resident imam, so we had imams that would rotate, you know, and so for that, the the board members would get together and offer the brother something for his transportation, and if he needed lodging or something like that, they would take care of that. But you're not going, like, we don't have um love offerings and shit. I remember one of my sisters came to me and she wanted to borrow some money from me. She wanted to give her pastor a love offering. Did I tell the bitch to get out my face? You feel me? A love offering. I'm over it. Nah. And you see them pulling up in their fancy cars and they have these big mansions and shit. Look at Creflo Dollar, you know, private jets and all of it. We don't have that in the Islamic world. We just don't have it. So when he says that most religious leaders are in it for themselves, yeah, but that's in Christianity. Time for prayer. Okay, that's also my cue to land this. Uh, well, yeah, there's less than 2 minutes left, so let's just do this
Opened
quickly.
up with,
Yeah.
I do believe that 99.9% of all religious leaders are in it for themselves.
Got you.
I look at all the brothers I know who went to jail, came out, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was there. I
Right.
look at all the politicians who fell from grace, or celebrities fell from grace, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was available. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be honest.
Yeah.
Although there are some people who go into the ministry for the purpose of serving the Lord, most people go into politics and religion to serve themselves.
Got you. Okay.
In equal numbers, you think in equal numbers, people going to politics at the equal number or equal rate as people going into religion to serve themselves?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
And if you disagree with that, show me a concrete, practical benefit of black religion in Canada that our people have realized in the past 30 years. Something significant.
I'd say Crawford. So Crawford Adventist Church.
No, what have they done? Give me the result. I don't need
The
to know
result. So basically, there's a school in Toronto called Crawford. I went to the school.
Okay.
95% black.
Okay.
Some people at the school, black teachers as well, and they have about a 95% graduation rate.
Okay.
As well.
How long has Crawford been in existence?
Well over 30 years.
Okay. And how many students
And
go to
it's
the
an
school?
Adventist school from grade 1 to 12. I'd say about 200 to 300 kids.
I appreciate the fact that they have a school,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering now, after 30 years, why do you only have one school? My second question to you, do I have to be a Christian to go to that school?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then I can live with that, but they should have more than one by now.
So I think the challenge is they're Adventist, and there's a bit of bureaucracy between the channels of the Adventist like board.
Okay.
So I think they're kind of dealing with that.
Yeah. They're not big enough they're just not big enough or popular enough to actually do that, whereas
Why are
Catholic
they
schools
still
are
under the
everywhere.
Adventist umbrella? The Adventist is a white congregation.
That's the challenge.
Why are they
And,
under it?
and what's happening is that there's an Adventist.
Be unapologetically African.
Right. Right. Amen.
Facts.
Facts, yeah.
Yes.
Facts.
Yeah, they're dealing with that right now. Shout out to Crawford. Shout out to everybody who went to Crawford. Speaking of, actually, there's a lot of success stories out of that. Matter of fact, the all of the other school, Kingsway College, is where Daniel Caesar came from.
Okay.
But
And salute the Crawford for the school, because
Yeah.
that's a relevant institution.
Yep.
Now, give me a church that's involved in some serious political agitation against police brutality, gentrification, economic genocide, mass incarceration, miseducation.
Okay, so I'd say Scarborough SDA. They have a prison program that they do, where they go into the prisons and
I ain't talking about no prison ministry.
okay.
What are they doing to fight against the system of mass incarceration?
We're trying. We're
Okay, that's the end of it. So I had to defend that, everybody. You know, or as I say, I ride with Dr. Johnson to the bitter end. I do, but he's just loud and wrong on this. You know, it would be so advantageous, really, if he was Muslim. You know, because he has the visibility and the influence. You know, a lot of our people would be Muslim probably, you know, just because of him. Um, but it's fine because know this, everybody. As I've told you before, everybody on this earth is going to be Muslim. It's part of the prophecy. You understand? As Muslims, we believe that the son of Mary, that you call Jesus, we believe that the son of Mary is coming back. We believe that. And But why he's coming back is because he's the only prophet, hear me, he's the only prophet that Allah has sent whose people have worshipped him. And he is coming back to say to Christians, flee from me. I know you not. I didn't die for you. I'm not your savior. You understand? He's coming back to set the record straight. But I mention that because the prophecy is that the Son of Mary will not return and cannot return to the earth until the number one religion on the planet is Islam. And for many years, I have been citing this for you and telling you go and Google because you know white folks is keeping track. They're the ones that got to keep a fact and figure on everything and trying to watch and be in everybody's business and all of it. And Islam is outpacing the growth of every other religion on earth combined. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and it will overtake Christianity. That's the prophecy. We see so many people becoming Muslim. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. So the prophecy is coming true. We see it. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. So it is the wee hours of the morning, everybody. That prayer alarm that you heard is for me to make the first prayer of the day, which is known as Fajr. So now today is officially Friday. I'm still bound and determined to try and get a live stream in when I come in from the mosque this afternoon. Um, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. If by some reason I am not able to accomplish that goal, then certainly I intend to be with you on Saturday. But I'm going to be pushing real hard to try and get it in later today because it is Friday now. It's technically not Friday. Well, it is Friday. Um, so yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments about all of this. But for now, I leave it here. I'll see you soon.